Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sus Faction.
Today is an Acela-centric episode, and I'm Kyle.
And I'm Isella, and
And
we're
we're your
your hosts. So today, kind of still on theme for Halloween, we're gonna,
I'm so
be
excited.
doing a lot more spooky episodes. Still sticking with some history, but more of a dark history.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Oh, this is very dark, and I
for
love
the
it.
month of October, we're going to stick with some dark history episodes. So today we are talking to you about Lady Dracula, the Blood Countess, Erzsébet Bathory. She is more commonly referred to as Elizabeth Bathory, but her name is pronounced Erzsébet Bathory, and I may call her Elizabeth several times throughout this, just because it rolls off my tongue easier.
Yeah, it's easier to speak in like New English when we're talking about someone like Erzsébet, but
Yes.
it's fine.
So she was born in Hungary or Slovakia. It's like all the things, but most importantly, Transylvania.
Yes, and I'm gonna probably pop in a few times just because I love Elizabeth Bathory, but I think her birth and like her origins are very shrouded in like mystery, aren't they? Like
I
there's
was
not
able
a
to
lot
find
to
a
find.
lot of
Really?
information. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's surprising. I
So
thought that it was like
I will give you. That'll be more fun. That's where the bulk of my research ended up with a lot of her childhood stuff, and then barely anything about her marriage. And then, then the fun started after her
right.
husband passed. So,
Yes.
Erzsébet Bathory was born August 7th, 1560, a Hungarian noble. She was actually born to a very prominent family. Both her parents were cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother and father being from two different sides of the Bathory family. One of them came from a side that helped the Habsburgs organize the election of Archduke Ferdinand of Austria as the King of Hungary. But the other side of her family worked to get a different Hungarian king elected, and this king was elected by the nobles of Hungary. The two branches eventually united, with Elizabeth's parents getting married, making them, the family, an enemy of the Habsburgs for years to come. Okay, so her family rose to prominence in the late Middle Ages, including several princes, a cardinal, and even the King of Poland. The family held positions of authority in the Kingdom of Hungary. In the late 16th century is when her parents got together and ended you could call it a family feud, really.
Right, totally.
So her uncles on both sides were voivodes, or governors of Transylvania, and her uncle Istvan was also king of Poland. She had two brothers and two sisters. Not coming from a very religious household, during the Protestant Reformation, her parents chose Protestantism not because they agreed with the faith beliefs, but because they wanted to limit the power of the king and the Catholic Church.
Right.
Her childhood happened during a quiet time in the Renaissance era when arts and sciences flourished with new inventions, but her household was anything but quiet. Let's see. It says that during her younger years, I guess, her childhood, adolescence. Yes, her adolescence. She had several members of her household that lived in that were extended family members. She had an aunt who was a lesbian, apparently, that practiced witchcraft and taught her how to torture servants.
Is that Davulia?
I don't have a name for that one.
Okay, baby. That might be. There's a girl named Davulia, and if that name doesn't ring a bell to you, then that might be who that is.
Maybe. I don't have her name. I don't have her aunt's name. Oh no, Clara. It says Clara.
Oh, okay.
Aunt Clara. Yep, she practiced witchcraft, killed her husbands, and taught Elizabeth how to torture servants. And apparently taught Elizabeth how to make love to women.
Nice.
Elizabeth's father was considered not crazy, but like eccentric because he refused to leave his favorite chair, even to bathe.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, very eccentric, very That's so funny.
Yes, he did not want to leave his chair, even to bathe. They brought him his meals in his chair. I just imagine him being like this large man. I don't know, but like it just sounds like if he doesn't even want to move to bathe, he's probably
massive.
Yeah. Probably a really big guy. Let's see who else lived in her house that was her brother, Istvan. He was a sadistic, lecherous sex fiend and drunkard who was often found running naked in the marketplaces after a binge.
Oh my gosh. See, her family, I don't know much about her early life in her family. So this is all new to me, but this is funny.
Yeah, and her uncle Gabor. I love the story about the uncle. He dressed in his armor because he was a soldier.
Yeah.
He would, in his older years, dress in his armor and fight off invisible attackers while shouting in unknown languages and foaming at the mouth. I'm sure he was probably drunk too. I just can imagine. Oh my gosh. Let's see what else. Oh, there is one instance that they talk about, and I think you've probably heard this one too, where she witnessed the bizarre execution of a peasant who went accused of selling his child to the Turks. He was accused of selling his child to the Turks. They sewed him up into the body of a horse while he was still alive.
Yes.
So I can only imagine, like, I had listened to another podcast and they were talking about it, and she said that they basically like just sliced the belly open, stuck him up in it, and sewed it shut.
Oh my gosh. Did you ever watch that movie Midsummer?
No.
Oh my gosh. And spoilers for the movie Midsummer. If you want to watch it, I'm sorry. But I'm going to spoil it. So end now. Do not go any further. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100. But they had this character that he is drugged to be paralytic drugs, and they stuff him inside of a bear. Yeah.
Inside of a bear.
Yeah.
And the bear's alive.
No.
Oh, this horse was still alive.
Oh my gosh. That's even crazier. No, they kill the bear. They take out its innards. They put him in it, and put his legs in the bear's legs, the arms.
Oh, they made him wear the bear as a suit,
as an outfit. It's crazy, and he looked like a teddy bear, a really morbid teddy bear.
Extremely morbid teddy bear. I don't know if I like teddy bears anymore. It just the stuff of nightmares.
Right.
Oh, okay. It is known that Erzsébet suffered seizures and fits of rage as a child. However, and it is said that her father did as well. So it was a hereditary condition, her seizures.
So she might have had epilepsy or something.
Yeah. So they're thinking epilepsy, especially because in later writings, letters that she wrote, she described both eye and head pain that caused problems, likely migraines and epilepsy. Let's see. Her penmanship and tone, however, was so beautiful that they could tell that she had an exceptional education, and some even doubt that she actually grew up in the chaos that I previously described.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They don't know for sure if that is something that was added later to kind of help fuel the stories about her. But
she could have been maybe sent away to a boarding school or something. I don't know. To get an education with how there's ladies in waiting and stuff.
It's possible. I just know that she was definitely educated way more than the other aristocrats at the time because she could read and write.
Sorry, go ahead.
A lot of the aristocrats at the time used clerks to do their writing for them.
Right. I knew that was one thing about her, prominently about Elizabeth, was that she was very, very intelligent. She was very well read, very she was very literate. She was good with money. She was good with she was just a very well educated woman.
Yeah. Well, I'm drawing back from the Catherine the Great story, but in a time when they don't seem to like tomboys, they tend to make up a lot of things about them. And she is also described as being a tomboy who loved fencing and horsemanship.
Yes.
So it's possible that a lot of the stories are embellished.
Definitely.
Um,
That's why I wonder if this could have just been for film, but there's a story about how she was caught with a peasant boy. And is this true?
I don't know if it's true. So I can talk on that actually because it's coming up anyway.
Okay.
So apparently she has a child with a lower man, but not a boy.
Okay.
An older man.
Okay, see, this
so
one
I don't
was
know
a
if it
story
was
about a peasant boy that she was found with in like the hay, and he ended up getting like lashing, and I believe beheaded like right outside of her like room. Like she could hear what was going on from where like her quarters were.
That sounds like it was very much inspired by what the actual events. So she had a child. Let's see. Okay. She was already engaged at 11 years old.
Right.
And her husband was only 16 when they were engaged. So that's not too bad.
No.
But she went to go live with his family. And while she was living with the family, I'm not sure if that's when it happened, because and 3 years after she had already been living with the family, that's when she got married. And that's when her husband, now her husband, because they're married, sent away the child. The child was hidden away that she had with her lover, and her lover was castrated and torn apart by dogs.
Oh wow, I bet that's what that story was based upon.
It's probably based on that.
By.
Yeah. So her husband is the one that ordered that. I guess because he was jealous.
That's just crazy. I mean, castrated and torn apart by animals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Let's see. They had a huge wedding. Let's take a couple steps back. So she, and like other girls at the time, once she was engaged, she went to go live with the family that she was going to become head of household to. So she went to live with her mother-in-law and learn how to manage the household while she was living with her future in-laws. Both her parents passed away, so they were not at her wedding. But she did inherit an enormous amount of property. Not that her in-laws needed it, because they were also very wealthy. Her father-in-law was a baron, and her mother was another member of the aristocracy, but they invited 4,500 guests to the wedding.
Holy cow.
Yes. Big wedding. You know that means they got money.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Wowzer. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Over 4,000 people at a wedding. Yep. I can't imagine. I don't even think celebrities have weddings that big.
I don't know. That's really big. Some of them don't even have like big weddings at all. I think they like run off and just
hide it. Or like elope and
I would too. I think if I was a celebrity, I wouldn't want, because who do you invite? Like
every single person on the A-list, right?
Oh, it's like, no, I just want family there.
Yeah. I mean, the royal wedding is like the only wedding I can imagine, and that's mostly the people that are not invited. They're people that are like they're just regular members of society that love the royals and stand in the streets and watch. Like, so anyway, go ahead.
No, that's fine. So let's see. We know that her husband had her lover castrated and torn apart, and the child hidden away. The couple, Erzsébet and her husband Ferenc. I'm gonna call him Frank.
Is it Ferenc?
Ferenc. It's Ferenc.
Yeah, Ferenc. Okay.
That's really hard to say for me. They lived together in the castle at Kastis in present-day Slovakia. Her husband took many trips because he was a high-ranking knight. He was a knight. Yeah. They called him the Black Knight, actually. Yeah. Yes. So he was the knight that was considered like savior to his people, and he was always gone. She ran the estates, and rumors say she took many lovers, but they did have 4 children together. All right, we're getting close to the things here. So, I used a book called The Crime Book. It states that her active years as a serial killer begin in 1585, but we know that her husband and she were the most feared couple at the time, both due to their influence, affluence, and her husband Ferenc was known for torturing his prisoners of war. So he, in one of the movies that I watched, he actually brought prisoners home
Oh,
and
wow.
they tortured them together.
Oh, yeah. Which what was that? What movie was that?
That was either the Countess. I can't remember. I watched 2 of them. I will put the links in the bottom of
the
show notes.
The Countess was the one where you like literally only learn of that one lover, and that's that one really young handsome guy, and he like didn't know about what her dealing, like her bad dealings and all that stuff. So, anyways, but yeah, I think that might be the one where her and Ferenc tortured together.
Yeah, they tortured. It's very possible they tortured together with as feared as he was. And
she was very much in love with him, right? Like, didn't
she was very much in love with him. She was really heartbroken after his passing. He became permanently disabled,
right?
Due to war, and he passed away February 4th of 1604. So then, after her husband's death, is when the rumors of her cruelty began to surface. There had been earlier accounts of peasant women being murdered, but not until 1609, when it was rumored that she killed noble women too, that she attracted attention. Yeah. So in 1610, King Matthias assigned her cousin Gyorgy Thurso, I'm just going to call him Thurso, to go and investigate the claims. And he interviewed neighbors and 300 witnesses and survivors. The story is further verified by physical evidence of mutilated, dying, or dead victims at the time of arrest. And there was one girl found dead and a boy dying when the king broke into the castle. So they show that the king was part of the storming of the castle in one of the films that I watched.
Right. I know that now this I don't know as fact, but I know it as a very prominent, like, rumor that's a popular rumor that I've heard multiple times in different ways, is that what started her her lust for her obsession with youth was when a servant girl was brushing her hair and she accidentally tugged on her hair, and it infuriated the Countess, and so she took the brush and slapped the girl with it like as hard as she could, and the blood splashed on her skin, and she supposedly felt her skin tighten and whiten, like it made her skin useful, and that is where she started to think that, okay, the blood of youth, like of younger women or virgin blood, would keep her young.
Yes, that is yes, that's what I read as well. Especially with the hairbrush, she slapped the servant in rage, and she noticed that where the blood had landed on her skin, it felt tighter to her and looked more youthful.
Right.
So that is the why she supposedly did what she did. But how did she do it? How was she able to torture and kill noble women? Do you know?
As far as I know, she was using, like, under the guise of a lady in waiting, like she would bring women to her as, like, under her tutelage. She would, like, teach them the ways of a noble woman, and then act as if she was going to marry them off and then keep them.
Okay.
As far as I know, that's what I
Yeah,
have
that's what
heard.
I have. Yep, that's what I had read as well. So her victims were young girls. Her initial targets were servant girls between the ages of 10 and 14, and then she started to lure the daughters of local peasants to the estates with promises of work as maids or servants in the castles. And then later, she is said to have killed the daughters of lesser gentry who were sent by their families to learn etiquette and social advancement. She actually ran what was called a gynoeceum, which is like a finishing school.
Okay.
That's how she lured them to her home. She, like you said, she promised that she would teach them, how to um, be like a lady in waiting. And yeah, so witnesses told Thurzo of relatives that had died at her gynoeceum, which was like a finishing school, and supposedly she also some abductions that had taken place.
Okay.
Yeah. So she had gotten in one of the movies they showed her get very desperate, and they said, just find me somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure that would be the abductions that would have taken place, would be like when they needed to just grab somebody.
Yeah. Did you learn of any? Did she actually? I don't know this to be fact, but did she have a? Wasn't she really interested in like, um, medicines? And didn't she have like run like her own little hospital?
She did. So she Oh, okay. Some of the ways that she also started to like lure people was through a hospital that she ran. She also ran a home for widows of like army men, and I also read something about like an orphanage. So yeah, a hospital was also part of that. She had used that to get
Okay.
people to her house. But it seems like all of this happened in such a short amount of time. It's like she
Right.
kept changing the narrative, I guess, so that more and more would come.
Yeah, and I know that like Turuzzo, her wasn't he her cousin?
Yeah, there's always her cousin.
Yeah, like he was
Yori.
very what's the word I want to use? Like he was adamant, like he wasn't messing around with her. Like he was like
Yeah.
really, really, really on the ball with it.
Yeah, he was. Let's see.
I don't mean to keep flipping you around and
No,
taking
that's
you in
okay.
different
No,
directions.
she was accused of having killed between 24 and 600 young women, which, like I said, she kept changing the narrative to bring more people to her house, more girls to her house. Um, she tortured her victims before killing them, and there were many forms of torture. One of your favorites. um, no, so including beatings, burnings, mutilation of hands, freezing or starving to death, and even she covered some in honey and live ants. I think you'd mentioned that one to me
Yes.
before. Yes.
It's crazy. And like now how much of the bathing in the blood is true, do you think?
I have like some math to debunk that.
Okay,
Let
because
me.
also, not to cut you off, sorry,
No,
but I also heard, or have, there's been, she bathed in the blood of virgins, but she also used a combination of herbs that tinted her baths red. So like, and the herbs were supposed to help with her to keep her skin youthful and young. So there's like, I feel like one could have inspired the other, or it could all just be just
well,
made up completely. But
in a few of the things that I had read, and even in one of the movies that I had watched, they had shown her like befriending a witch woman that would help her
that's
with
the
all of the
Davulia
herbs
that
and
I
stuff. Okay. So she came actually when the husband was originally just like paraplegic.
Yeah.
And still alive, but because they even show like him picking at her, like, why do you believe in all this stuff? And she was really just like, she just wanted him to be better.
Yeah.
And so that's why she invited this witch to come live in her house. And like, she wasn't like a witch. She was like
an herbologist,
like
an
herbologist. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
But back then, if
Anything,
you were smart, you were a witch.
If you were a smart woman, you were definitely a witch, especially if you were a smart woman that meddled with remedies.
Yes. Yep. Some other ways that she, sorry, she really liked to torture them. Some
Yes, she
other
did.
ways that she tortured them, she stuck needles into their lips
Ah,
or other body parts, stabbed them with scissors, or even using her own teeth, bit off the breasts, face, and limbs of some of the girls. She was rumored to have vampiric tendencies, to have enjoyed drinking the blood of virgins, believing it would preserve her beauty and youthfulness. And she is rumored to have bathed in the blood.
yeah.
Yes. So
Oh, Erzsébet.
I'm going to talk a little bit about, let's see, I'm going to talk about the bathing in the blood, and then we'll go back. We'll end it with how she gets caught.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds
okay.
good to me.
All right. So to debunk the bathing in the blood theory, the human body holds 8 to 12 pints of blood at a time. And knowing that she had to fill a tub that was on average 800 to 1,000 pints deep, she would need 10 full-sized adults to fill the bathtub enough to bathe in it. Factor in that her victims were young girls, smaller, and usually younger, not fully grown. They probably didn't even hold 8 pints of blood in their body.
Right. Most likely not.
Also, she enjoyed torturing her victims, like we described.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that a lot of them had already lost a significant amount of blood before she would have drained them. What is more possible is that because she did tell her servants to scoop the blood off the floor, is that she stored the blood and used for something similar to our vampire facial that we have today.
Yeah. Like a poultice of blood and.
Yeah. I do have a description of the vampire facial in case anyone's not sure what it is. A vampire facial is a cosmetic treatment that combines microneedling with platelet rich plasma from your own blood, not somebody else's, to rejuvenate the skin, reduce wrinkles and scars, and improve texture and create a more youthful glow by stimulating cell turnover, collagen, and elastin. So it involves drawing your blood, and then they isolate the PRP, and then they will use microneedling to create microscopic holes for absorption of the platelet rich blood. Again, your own blood, and done by a professional.
Yes.
Because there's so many risks involved.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So that's more likely something that she probably did. Because a lot of what I read was that she had them scoop the blood up off the floor when she was torturing these people. So that I can imagine them using like smaller items to scoop it. How long would that take still to fill a bathtub?
Oh, right.
And to scoop it up off the floor, they're probably using like little cups and things, and she would store that. I saw in one of the films that they made about her that she would use it like blush and lipstick.
Right, that's what I was gonna say, is that it was more, I would say, if she was doing something and like quote unquote bathing, would be like using a brush or what we would call a kabuki brush, like to use as blush and lipstick and pour it, or like brush it onto her skin, opposed to actually bathing in it.
Right. So like more like makeup or a mask of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I saw one where she would I don't know if it was the same. I saw two movies. So one where she would kind of just like dip her hands in to make her hands look younger.
That's the Countess.
Okay. So that is more likely than taking a full bath in blood. Let's see. All right. December 30th, 1609, Bathory and her servants were arrested under Thurzo's orders, and her 3 loyalist servants were executed for being accomplices almost 2 years later. So in 1611, they were executed. But because of Elizabeth's high status, she was never formally tried. Thurzo convinced the king that it would damage the nobility and cause a public scandal. she was his cousin and he didn't want his name ran through the mud.
Right.
That's basically what it is. Like, okay, if we do this to her, she's going to make all the nobles look bad, even you, king.
Yeah.
You know, and so really it's like I just don't want my cousin to be like associated with me, and I don't want to be associated with what's going on here.
Exactly.
But he still got his way. And she was instead confined to her private chambers in her castle at Cashtis, and she remained there until her death in 1614 at age 54. That's when she died.
Now,
54.
did she? I believe this could be a rumor, but I always read and saw that she was bricked into her quarters.
Yeah, she was. She was bricked in. So in her quarters, it was windowless, apparently. What I read, it was windowless. So there were no windows, or they closed the windows also by bricks. I'm not sure, but it was windowless. And then they bricked the door with leaving just a slot small enough for food.
Right.
And I guess they fed her, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually she did pass, and they don't know if it was, they never really specified if it was natural causes or if somebody was like, I'm just gonna poison her, or if she did it to herself because she just was driven mad being there for 4 years. She survived in there though.
Solitary confinement.
Darkness.
Sounds terrifying.
Darkness too. I mean, she only had that tiny little slot, which I guess was I don't know if that's like normal, but like we read about the similar punishment Catherine the Great did to apparently she's called the Bloody Duchess. Is that other woman that I told you about? Yeah. Her nickname is the Bloody Duchess.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but I had found that when I was looking at all this stuff. But, yeah, so apparently that is a normal for that time, for the the Middle Ages, to take away someone's sunlight.
Yeah.
Is their punishment.
Take away their completely, like, their humanity, essentially, like being able to socialize, no. Being able to see outside, no. Yeah. Like being able to witness other people or just conversing with another person at all, like, no. Yeah. Like, that's just, oh God, I can't imagine being stuck in a place forever for the rest of my life where I can't socialize.
Right. No, that would be horrible. But I mean, I guess they assumed they were removing her from society so she wouldn't be able to harm anybody else. Right. A lot of people.
And that was merciful, I feel like, in a sense, like, because like for what she did, she should have been put to death. But like, I mean, like you said about Trousseau and not wanting all that scandal.
Yeah. So yeah, he did not want his name to go through there. So she never went to trial. Now her 3 servants, of the like 4 sources that I had, died 3 different ways.
Oh my gosh.
In the sources. So one showed them all being burnt at the stake. One had 2 of them were burnt at the stake, and the other was beheaded. The male was beheaded, and the 2 girls were burnt at the stake, because there were 2 women and a male.
Oh, okay.
Were her most loyal servants, the ones that would help her torture people.
Right. Were forced into helping.
Right. I'm like, I feel bad for them, because like they had to help.
They had no choice. They would be probably subjected to the same punishment if they didn't comply.
Well, yeah, they even showed in one of the movies that like one of them was like, I can't do this anymore, and she was like, that's fine, go hang yourself up and let's do this. Like, she's like, I'll take you then. Like, it didn't matter to her. She didn't have any care in the world. So she just, about herself, wanted to be younger and look younger. And I know that a lot of it was grief. A lot of it, what they showed was grief, and what they talked about was the grief had changed her face. Yeah. And she was upset with the way she looked because of the grief of losing her husband.
Right.
But yeah, so grief had changed her face and apparently her mindset as well.
Right.
Now, there is some speculation as to whether these accounts are even true. And I wouldn't be doing her any service if I didn't mention it.
Right.
So the claims against her could have been politically motivated by her wealth and land holdings, which made her a perceived threat to leaders of Hungary. It was not uncommon to accuse a woman, especially a wealthy widow, of murder, witchcraft, and sexual misconduct to seize her lands. Adding to that the king owed her a sum that was too large for him to pay at once, and there's your motive.
Yes.
So
I remember that. She was very wealthy.
Yes, she was very wealthy. The king owed her money, and she could have very well just been a victim to rumors. The nobility chose to strip her of her money and her lands, the only legal, with air quotes around it, legal way that they knew how, and that was to completely run her name through the mud and make her into a villain, a monster. Yes, Dracula,
Lady Dracula.
Yes, but Elizabeth Bathory is known as the Guinness Book of World Records most prolific female serial killer in history. So sadly, that is her legacy.
Right. And what a sad but interesting one. Sad though, very sad. I just wanted to mention a couple films that you can watch to get more on the story, because this is a very compelling story. To me at least, I've always thought, like, ever since I saw the movie, okay, one of the films is Stay Alive, and ever since I saw that film, I got so invested in who Elizabeth Bathory was.
Yeah, I didn't know much about her, so I had only heard of her, but I never really felt interested to learn more.
Right, so. And I'm glad you did. Because okay, so Stay Alive is a film about a video game that brings in components from the story of Elizabeth Bathory, and if you die in the video game, you die in real life, blah 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 blah, and the one who kills you in the video game is Elizabeth Bathory. Another film is The Countess, which we talked about a couple times during this podcast or during this episode, because I feel like it's a good reference.
It is, yeah. I used it.
There's the movie Countess Dracula, and then another one that's a two-parter I really like, that I feel like gave some other how do I put this? Like, it showed possible other alternative ways that you could interpret the story, was called Bathory, Countess of Blood. And that's I really liked that one. It's a really good film.
So I had watched The Countess, and some of my information came from there, but I also watched a movie called The Blood Queen.
The Blood Queen?
Yes.
I'll have to check that out. I'm writing that down.
Yes, The Blood Queen. And then I read The Infamous Lady, a true story of Countess Erzsébet Bathory. It actually has her actual name there.
Actual name.
And then The Crime Book, which I will be using for a few other podcasts as well, because there's a good summary in each one of those. Like, it gives you the big hits, and then you can go searching for more information.
More references, yeah.
Yep. And then there was a fun little The Blood Countess facts, on historyhit.com, and it just had the top 10 things you need to know about Erzsébet Bathory.
Sweet.
So that's what I had used, and I will put all of that in the show notes.
Cool.
All of the references.
Right. Well, I think that is it. So again, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to come back for another episode.
We post every week on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, trust no one, question everything.
And if you want to send in stories to us for us to share, you can reach us at susfactionpod@outlook.com. Again, if you want to send us any stories, You can reach us at susfactionpod@outlook.com. We'd love to hear them and read them and share them. We also have an Instagram.
Yes, at Susfaction Pod on Instagram. I will post usually on Monday nights what our Thursday episode is going to be about. But because we are asking for a few of your stories as well, I'm going to give you a little bit of a run. Well, just like a couple that you might be able to write into us about. We're going to be covering some cryptids soon. So if you have any cryptid encounters, those could be shared. Also, we are talking about witches in Salem.
Yay, yay, yay.
And werewolves of Europe. And then we're going to get our tinfoil hats on for a little while.
Oh my gosh, yes, I can't wait.
So we will be covering some of those stories as well. Feel free to write into us and share any of your personal encounters.
So yeah, thank you guys so much.